Remember the days when your phone battery would die by lunchtime? Back in the early 2010s, smartphones weren't the powerhouses they are today. We were all desperate for a little extra juice, and into that desperation stepped an app called BatteryDoctor. With over 100 million downloads, it was a global phenomenon. It promised a magical one-touch solution to all our battery woes, a way to optimize our Android phones and make them last forever, or at least until we got home. The interface was slick, full of charging animations, temperature gauges, and a big satisfying Optimize button. Tapping it felt like you were doing something, like you were a tech wizard fine-tuning your device. But what was really happening behind the scenes? Well, that's where the story gets dark. The truth is, BatteryDoctor was one of the biggest scams in mobile app history. It didn't optimize anything. It didn't extend your battery life. In fact, it probably made it worse. What it did do was master the art of deception. It played on our fears and our lack of technical knowledge. You see, when you hit that optimize button, a fancy animation would play, and the app would claim to have saved you minutes, even hours, of battery life. It would list all the background apps it had closed for you. It felt productive, right? But here's the secret. The Android operating system is designed to manage background apps on its own. Most of those apps that BatteryDoctor closed, Android would just restart them moments later, using even more power in the process. The optimization was a complete illusion, a placebo effect designed to make you feel in control while the app was actually taking control of your phone. So, if it wasn't saving our batteries, what was it doing? Simple, making its developers rich. The company behind BatteryDoctor was Cheetah Mobile, a name that might ring a bell if you were around during that era. They were also responsible for other hugely popular apps like Clean Master and CM Security. Their business model was a masterclass in exploitation. First, there were the ads. So many ads. Pop-ups, banner ads, full-screen video ads that you couldn't skip. The app was basically a billboard that you willingly installed on your phone. But it gets worse than just annoying advertisements. BatteryDoctor and its sibling apps were hoovering up massive amounts of your personal data. They requested permissions they had no business asking for, tracking your usage, your location, and who knows what else. All under the guise of optimization. This data collection wasn't just for their own records. It was the fuel for a much larger, more sinister operation, ad fraud. In 2018, the whole house of cards came tumbling down. An investigation by security researchers revealed that Cheetah Mobile was engaged in a massive ad fraud scheme. Here's how it worked. Let's say you saw an ad for a new app, maybe a game, and decided to install it. Normally, the developer of that game would pay a referral fee to the platform where you saw the ad. But Cheetah Mobile's apps would secretly hijack this process. They could detect when you were installing a new app and then falsely claim that you discovered it through them, essentially stealing the referral bonus from legitimate advertisers. They even generated fake clicks on ads, creating a river of fraudulent income. They weren't just tricking users. They were cheating the entire mobile advertising ecosystem. The fallout was swift and severe. When the evidence became public, Google took action. They removed 8 of Cheetah Mobile's most popular apps, including BatteryDoctor and Clean Master, from the Google Play Store, but the hammer really dropped when Google banned Cheetah Mobile entirely from its massive ad networks. This was a devastating blow. A huge portion of the company's revenue came from Google's ad platforms, and overnight it was gone. Cheetah Mobile's stock price plummeted, wiping out a huge chunk of its market value. The company that had built an empire on deception was finally facing the consequences. The king of optimization had been optimized right out of the App Store. The story of BatteryDoctor is a classic tale from the Wild West of the early smartphone era. It's a perfect example of what some have called the snake oil economy. App stores were flooded with these so-called utility apps, all promising to speed up your phone, clean your junk files, or cool down your CPU. They used flashy graphics and fake progress bars to trick us into believing they were working. In reality, they were often just ad delivery machines and data stealing tools, preying on user ignorance and the lax moderation of the app stores at the time. We were so desperate for solutions to our real problems, sluggish phones and terrible battery life, that we were willing to believe in a magic button. Thankfully, things have changed a lot since then. Modern operating systems like Android and iOS are far more sophisticated. They have built-in battery optimization and memory management that actually work, making apps like BatteryDoctor completely redundant. The app stores themselves have also become much stricter. The review processes are more rigorous, and companies are quicker to ban apps that engage in deceptive practices or ad fraud. The snake oil salesmen haven't disappeared entirely, but it's much harder for them to operate on the scale that Cheetah Mobile once did. So, what's the lesson here? The BatteryDoctor saga is a powerful reminder to always be skeptical of easy solutions to complex problems. If an app promises something that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's a reminder to pay attention to the permissions and app requests and to question why a simple battery app would need access to your contacts or location. While the technology has improved, human psychology hasn't. We're still drawn to quick fixes. But the next time you feel that urge, just remember the millions of people who downloaded BatteryDoctor, hoping to save their battery only to have their data and their trust stolen instead. It's a lesson worth remembering in our increasingly digital world. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of tech. See you next time.